What's up, guys? It's Johnny here at Retroplay Games, and today we are going to be taking a look at a PSA sub return. So I sent these out, I don't know, 3-ish months ago. Finally got them back a little bit ahead of schedule, actually. If you guys remember way back, I went live, and it's on the YouTube channel as well. I purchased a sweet collection of vintage Pokemon from a customer that had found them with his grandpa at his grandpa's house. So they collected them in the 90s, opened them up, put them in the binder, and then 25 years later, they walked into the shop, had been forgotten about all that time, and I got some really sweet stuff out of that. So I finally got around to sending some of it to PSA. There's some modern cards here too that I picked up over the last couple of months, or prior to the submission that I sent as well. So before I get into that, I do just want to chat briefly about some updates with the store. It's been a while since I've gone live. Been super busy. We got lots of community stuff happening at the shop. So a couple of major things. We got Flesh and Blood ProQuest coming up. That's going to be January 14th at 1 o'clock at the store. So if anybody is looking to get in on that, the registration link has been posted to the Facebook page. You can jump in, get your tickets there. We've got a maximum of 40 people, I think, is what we're going to be able to accommodate at the store. So you don't want to miss out on that. If you're a Flesh and Blood player, that gives you the opportunity to go to the Pro Tour. There's some really cool foil prizing and other stuff that Legend Story is giving away. The next thing is Yu-Gi-Oh! OTS. So we are officially Konami sanctioned at the store now. So anybody that's looking to play some competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! You can come out and earn some packs. It's going to be Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. And then Warhammer and miniatures in general have really taken off at the store. So every Wednesday at about 6 o'clock is when everybody shows up. You're going to want to jump in the Discord. That's where all of the news and game scheduling and everything like that happens. I try to post as much as I can on Facebook, but to schedule your games and get people, playing with you, you're going to want to be on the Discord. So I don't want to talk too much about that stuff, but like I said, it's been quite a while since I've gone live, so just thought I would get some updates. It's going to be going up to YouTube as well, so anybody that's been keeping up with the shop there is going to be able to see that stuff. But you guys are here for the PSA return, so without further ado, let's get into that. The boxes have been unsealed because it was a bulk submission, so when they get sent off to the person that actually sends them off to grading, obviously everything gets verified when it comes back. So the boxes have been unsealed, but I haven't actually looked at what's happened here. So we're going to be taking a look at this together for the first time. Like I said, there's some really sweet vintage first edition stuff, as well as some modern cards that I've picked up that I sent off. So here we go. Box number 1. Got my nice Pokemon mat here. Picked that up from the Pokemon Center, featuring Rayquaza and Dragonite. Okay. I sent 36 cards in total, mostly vintage, but a couple of modern. And we are going to take a look, go through the stack, and see how we did. So here we go. It started. All right, Near Mint 7 on this Zapdos from Fossil. So again, first edition. That's a really sweet return on that. I'm super happy with it. See the back there. Some minor nicking on the edges is where I think I took a loss on this one. But overall, a very nice looking card. Happy to have it in Near Mint. Next is Moltres from that bird trio from Fossil. Again, first edition, coming back a 9. Beautiful. I will take it. Take a look at the back there. Maybe some surface in the edges, kind of trying to catch it in the light, but without blinding you with the glare. But overall, a 9. Super happy with that. Great return. All of this stuff is going to go up for sale. I will have it at the shop, and I'm gonna get it up on the website as soon as I can. Take some pictures, get that stuff priced out, put up there for you. So if you're looking to complete some of your vintage set, this is going to be the way to go. Magneton, another 9. All right. More first edition goodness there. Love the artwork. Nice psychedelic artwork behind him there. Take a look at the back. A little bit of chipping on the top. Is going to be what kept us away from a 10. But overall, like I said, this stuff was in really, really great condition. So I'm expecting good things. So far, so good. Another Magneton. There's a couple of doubles in here. Another 9 too. Sweet. And some chipping on the corners, maybe a little on the bottom. That's kind of tough to see though. Maybe it was a little bit up on the corner there. Maybe some surface issues. Kind of see catching the light. There's a little bit of surface. Some of that's just the paper that it was printed on, the cardstock, but another 9. Here we go. Let's see what we got next. Kabutops coming in at a 6. That's quite a drop. See if we can figure out where we went wrong here. That's better. Holo looks clean. I don't see any chipping around the edges on the front. Oh yeah, on the top there for sure. And on the side, a little bit. Not sure if that's a 6 though. But it is what it is. Still some great first edition stuff. Next we have Hitmonlee coming in at a 7. Definitely some centering there. So again, for those of you not super familiar with grading, it's surface, edges, corners, and centering are the criteria that they use to grade. So you want to try to find stuff that's literally as pristine as possible, obviously, to get the highest grade. There is some tolerance with the centering, so you'll see some cards that are slightly off-center that can still score 10s. They do have a little bit of a tolerance. But, you know, any edge whitening, or you can see kind of there's a little bit of funkiness on that corner. All that stuff is going to have an impact on the final grade. But near mint, I'm happy with that. Like I said, first edition, you can't really go wrong. Ooh, and Gengar. First edition Gengar coming in at 7 near mint. Definitely happy with that. This is one of the big hits from this set for sure. Everybody's after the Gengar. Maybe a little bit of centering. Definitely some ding on the corners up there. Surface issues. And on the corner down here too. I'm happy with a 7 on that. That's nice. That's what I was collecting, PSA 7. And then somebody came and grabbed all those from me, unfortunately. So maybe we'll get started here with some of this stuff. Start my collection over again. And Dragonite, first edition, the other big hit from the Fossil set. Coming in at an 8, near mint, mint. Really, really nice card. Love the artwork. Love the rainbow in the background there. This is one of my favorite vintage cards, for sure. See some whitening on the edge up there for sure. Corner down there. Overall, super happy with that, though. That's a great return. Gengar and Dragonite, I was super excited about. I hoped for a 10. I got ahead of myself and counted my chickens before they hatched. Looking at some of the values on eBay of recently sold PSA 10s, hoping for the best. And Gengar, I think the last sold PSA 10 first edition Gengar was like $10,000. So I was really hoping for that payday, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen for me. But again, I'm super happy with the grades that we're seeing here. So for 25-year-old cards, not bad. And Ditto coming in at a 9. Really nice. They had some of that weird like 3D rendered artwork. That's when 3D imaging and all that stuff was really starting to take off in the 90s, and they definitely got their money's worth out of it for some of these Pokemon cards. A little bit of edge issues, some wear on the corner up there. And kept it from being a 10, but that is a really solid card though. Looks great. And Articuno. So I sent a Spanish one. This is the Spanish one coming in at a 6. You can see that swirl in there. That's really nice. So for those of you that are just getting into collecting or still familiarizing yourself with it, the swirls are super desirable. Sometimes you'll see more than one on a card, and they... Oh, there's another one down there by his foot too, a double swirl Articuno. It is Spanish, so it's not going to get quite the same price that an English one would. But somebody out there will be happy to have this for sure. Plus, it's cool to see foreign Pokemon cards. 6 Articuno. I don't really see a whole lot happening on the back there. Like there's some chipping on the edges. I guess at the top is pretty bad. Pretty bad white spot. And there's going to be an English one too. Is it going to be next? I'm not sure how the guy did this. It looks like maybe set order. Hey, there's the Articuno. This one also coming in at a 6. This is the English version. It's a different foiling than the Spanish one too. You can see this one has the classic like star foiling they've been using in some other card games, and then this one has the more modern-esque foiling that they're still using now. Really nice. Maybe a little bit of centering, some edge wear for sure. You can see right up on the corners there. But overall, very nice. Articuno was my boy in Pokemon Yellow. So good. Aerodactyl, coming in at an 8. Very solid. First edition there. These are the most nostalgic stuff for me. Like, there's definitely some really cool modern Pokemon cards, but nothing does it for me like the vintage stuff. Even the beat up ones, like that, you can tell somebody on the schoolyard was really getting their money's worth out of their pack contents there, putting them in their pocket. Some of them go through the washing machine. I see some real bangers sometimes. It's definitely cool to see the mintier stuff though. And it's getting harder and harder as the value of Pokemon skyrocketed and people started digging their collections out, and a lot of the stuff has already changed hands and gone into collections or gone into stores. So it's, you know, getting tougher. And Wigglytuff from Jungle. So it was Jungle and Fossil. I didn't have any base set first edition stuff. Frankly, when I bought this, that stuff was still through the roof. But I am always on the hunt for some nice first edition base set stuff. I would like to get the starter trio, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, but even a mangled Charizard is still incredibly expensive. We can see some whitening on the corners there for sure. Knock this down to a 6. Not dirt on the card there, it's on the slab. Do the wave! Coming down to our last couple of cards from this box. Vileplume, coming in at a 9. Really nice. There's more of that sweet 3D rendered art there. Very, very nice. You can see a little issue with the corner there. It's just those minor imperfections that keep it from being a 10. So let that be a lesson to you. When you're opening up expensive stuff, you want to make sure that you handle it with care. Obviously, kids are going to do what they do with their cards, but if you're trying to collect to grade and maximize your value, you want to be making sure you're not accidentally nicking it with your fingernails or something like that when you pull it out of the pack, or you peel the wrapper wrong and bend those corners. Every little bit counts when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I think PSA would maybe a little bit tougher on some of these things, as I did send a starter trio or a couple of Charizards and some other cards a year and some change ago. And some of the imperfections that I'm seeing on these cards definitely didn't factor in as hard on the grading last time. But, you know, like I said, I'm still happy with what we're seeing here, for sure. And Venomoth coming into the 6. I can see an issue on the corner up there for sure. That's all right. I figured I would grade all the first edition stuff. Oh yeah, it's even worse on the back. But I'm happy with a 6 on that, to be honest. Very, very nice. And the last one for this box, Vaporeon. Coming in at an 8. Very nice. So the jungle set does include Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. So we're going to be seeing all of them. And those were what I was most excited about to grade from this set. Definitely hoping to get some 10s, but like I said, even just having the first edition versions of them is really, really cool. It is live streaming just to Facebook, Billy. Not all of us are affiliates like you that can just go live to YouTube. Congratulations on that, by the way. Everybody, Sunday Slot Cars. Definitely want to check them out. Billy's killing it with the YouTube lately. All right, so really solid, guys. You know, an 8 on that Vaporeon. I'm really, really happy to see that. So tuck those off to the side here. We got box 2. So this is going to be some more jungle goodies. And then, like I said, there was a few modern cards that got sent as well. So let's take a look and see how we did. Really nice shipping, packaging with PSA. Total cost to do all this, just in case anybody's wondering, PSA is still a little bit expensive. Grading all 36 of these cards, there was shipping. The actual grading fee came out to about $30, $35 a card. And then one thing that PSA does different before we get into this, for those of you that have graded with Mint, is who I've been working with, M&T here in Canada. They just charge a flat rate, whereas PSA is going to charge you more depending on the value of your card. If you have really, really expensive cards, you know, to cover things like insurance and all that other kind of stuff on their end, there are some upcharges. A couple of these I think did get upcharged, so that's really exciting to know that there's some value in here for sure, according to their pricing database. But be aware of that. So total cost was about $1,300, just over $1,300 to grade all these. Okay, here we go. Sorry for the glare, there is a light overhead. Notice I'm not at the shop today, because it's quiet. There's no children running around or gamers having loud conversations. I am putting together a studio. I don't have my webcam on my face. I normally like to interact that way, but it's just frankly not quite ready for that yet. But I did want to go live and do this so I can get these available to you guys. But I am putting together a studio. So part of my New Year's resolution, since you know that's the kind of the theme of the day right now, is to put out a lot more content. So I'm going to be trying to shoot for weekly videos. Like I said, with getting into Warhammer more at the shop and actually getting the Games Workshop account, I want to start doing some model tutorials. Unfortunately, I just hadn't had the space, so I started working to get that stuff ready to go, and we're going to shoot for weekly content. So we get some Warhammer, we get some Flesh and Blood. Yeah, thank you, Billy. I am going to be getting the stuff onto YouTube. Like I said, that's the plan, is getting some weekly videos up, and hopefully next year I will be an affiliate like you. So look forward to more content coming from me, guys. Now that I have a separate location, it's not as hectic at the store. One thing that can be a little bit of a hindrance is I have customers and stuff coming in all the time. I was doing the bulk of my videos and live streams and things like that during COVID, but now that the shop is open all the time, it can be a lot more tedious. It's louder, so I have a different space away from the shop where I have got my studio together here, and I'm looking forward to being able to put out a lot more content for you guys. So anyway, here we go. Box number 2 of PSA. Snorlax coming in at an 8. Also one of the bigger hits from the jungle set. Love to see him. He's one of my favorite Pokemon. Super high defense back in the day, and still, I'm sure. Very hard to take down. You got to wake him up with the Pokey Flute because he's blocking your path and you can't get through. And then you accidentally knock him out, and that's your only chance to catch the Snorlax, and you're sad about it. Love it. Really, really nice return there. Pinsir coming in at a 9. Get that guillotine. It's crazy looking back at some of the attacks on these versus the damage and stuff that you can do and the abilities that are in the modern Pokemon game is crazy. It's like some older games like Magic, the most powerful cards were the older ones, and then you see games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon where like this kind of stuff just wouldn't even compete. Like 60 HP? No. That's like basic Pokemon is going to take this guy out in one shot with one energy. Nidoqueen coming in at a 9. Nice. This is one of the better cards, better hits from the set as well. Get that boyfriend's attack. Every Nidoking does do some more damage. See a little bit of whitening on the top right corner there, top left corner. Maybe some minor surface issues, a little bit of edge problems. But I mean, that's 9 is really solid for that, all things considered. I'm super happy with that. Next up is Mr. Mime coming in at a 7. It's got a really cool hollowing pattern to it as well. Even behind the black, you can still faintly see those stars coming through. Very, very nice. Yep, so edge wear corners on this one for sure. Maybe a little bit on the centering. But I'm happy with 7s. Near mint is near mint, right? Everybody's grading is subjective, but now they're in slabs. So they are what they are. Kangaskhan coming in at an 8. Really, really nice. Some of that hand-drawn artwork that Pokemon is well known for, too. This one's definitely got some edge wear. Definitely on the corner up there. Looks maybe a small. It can't be a crease. There's no way. Coming in an 8. Very nice grade for that. So maybe they were more fair on some stuff and a little harsher on the others. Who knows? Jolteon coming in an 8. I just love this Jolteon artwork. He is ready to Thunder Shock you, or Pin Missile you, or Quick Attack you right now. Like I said, I'm really happy to have the first edition Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon trio for sure. They were definitely the gems of this collection, along with the Dragonite and the Gengar. Maybe a little minor whitening there. Overall, a really solid card, though. I think it deserves an... Oh, okay. Well, maybe a little bit more on the edging. See, that's the problem, too, is, you know, they use a die to punch all these out. So even though this card is pack fresh, maybe the die was dull when it struck the cards on the sheet. So you get a little bit of that weird edging lift there. And there's nothing you can do about that. That's why, you know, super high grade cards, 10s and pristines or black labels or whatever it is, depending on the company you go with, command a lot of money. Because even if you open this out of the pack, it's not guaranteed to be even near mint. There's a lot of issues that can happen at the factory. So it's always a lottery, whether or not you're actually going to get a good card and then whether or not it's actually going to be in good shape. And to be honest with you, the modern stuff lately, I think the quality control has just been pretty bad. Like the off-centering and miscuts and things that are coming out of the American Pokemon factory, somebody's not doing the quality control. Like, I get they're trying to print the stuff at 100 miles an hour to meet the demand, but like, take a look at what you're doing, you know? Japan, their stuff tends to grade the best. We had another guy, Forrest, that jumped in on this sub as well. Sent a bunch of Japanese cards and he gemmed a ton of them. Did really great. So congratulations to you if you're watching this. That was really cool to see that. And then I sent an Umbreon VMAX alt art to Mint, and that came back a 10. So definitely have the best luck with the Japanese stuff for sure when it comes to modern. There's the Flareon, coming in at a 6. Also really cool old school hand-drawn artwork. What's up, Brody? Long time no see, man. There we go. A little bit of corners, a little bit of edge issues there. Probably some surface too that knocked it down a little bit. But a beautiful card nonetheless. We gotta be getting close to the start of the jungle set here. There was some base set stuff that got sent too. Electrode coming in at an 8. I'm excited to see how the base set stuff did. Really, really nice. Not base first edition, just to reiterate. That would be crazy. And I would be broke. But someday it's going to happen. We're going to get that collection coming through. Definitely a ding there. I felt bad. I saw this one guy that had just returned some cards from Beckett. They were graded 9.5s, but it looked like something had happened at some point in the grading process where the cards were maybe like pinched between the plastic before they went in the ultrasonic welder and just had brutal dings on the side. So they were putting the slabs as Beckett 9.5, but I think the guy was hoping to cross them over into PSA 10s. And unfortunately, it's just not possible to do that now that the cards somehow were damaged. I'm not saying that it was Beckett's fault or blaming anybody in particular for it, but definitely something happened. They received a high grade. The card condition doesn't match the grade they received. What are you going to do? Clefable. Also coming in at an 8. Very solid. I love the metronome attack in the video game. You roll the dice and see what's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to get a hyper beam. Sometimes you're going to rest and put yourself to sleep. It's anyone's guess. Such a cool attack. Oh, that's weird. There's like some kind of weird surface mark on it there for a second. The water ring. Oh, it's not possible. Definitely didn't get wet. Clefable at an 8. I think that's the end of jungle. So now we're getting into some of the base set stuff. Here we go. Really excited to see how we did on these. There's the Charizard coming in at a 6. One of the cards that everybody's chasing. And I remember back in the day, it was the exact same thing, except back then it wasn't worth what it is now. These were going for crazy money at the height. When Logan Paul was putting out his videos, PSA 7s, 8s, selling for like upwards of $1,000. It was crazy. Not quite where they were before. A little bit of an issue on the corners there, probably from the die punch, but I don't really see much whitening. To be honest with you, maybe this. Is that on the slab? No, that's on the slab. I don't really see any whitening there. The Charizard that I sent last time that came back a 7 was actually in a little bit worse condition, so that's kind of disappointing. I thought this was going to be a 7 for sure. Get right up close there. Is there any issue, any chipping? Oh, minor little chipping there. But still, overall, I think this was in much better condition than the 7 I got last time. So that kind of sucks. But hey, what are you going to do? It's a Charizard. And I did send 2 of them, and this one also came back a 6. Which I kind of was expecting, to be honest. That one of them was in a lot... Yeah, you can see the chipping on the edge on this one for sure. A little bit on the side here, some issues on the edges. And again, that's all mostly in the die punch, or maybe when we didn't really have access to sleeves back then, so people just kind of treated the cards, shuffled through them as they were doing their trading. Oh yeah, and definitely some issues on the back. I knew this one wasn't going to be quite as good. But I mean, like, these are 2 6s, and this one is clearly in a lot worse condition. I think this is, like, I would regrade that if I wasn't so lazy and now poor from doing this submission. I think that's what, definitely a strong 6, but should have been a 7. 2 6s there on the Charizards. Venusaur coming in at a 7. There we go. My hope, honestly, I got ripped off with my PSA 7 starter trio set. None of that stuff was ever recovered, unfortunately. I did get a lot of things back, thanks to viewers like you, looking out for us and being vigilant in the community, but I did not get back my PSA 7 starter trio. So I hoped maybe I would get another one this time. But with the 6s on the Charizards, it looks like I'm going to have to go out and buy one to complete that set again. Yeah, a little bit of corner problems there. But overall, like I would say that's just as good a shape as that Charizard. Maybe it's the surface. Maybe a little bit of centering. Definitely some centering on this one. But near mint 7 on that Venusaur. Really nice. Another Venusaur and another 7. Some of these I wasn't expecting to do this well on. You can see, I think, a little bit of surface scratching on the holo there. But overall, they were in beautiful condition. Like I said, for a 5-year-old kid to open these up with his grandpa and they still come back this nice 25 years later. Yeah, and there's some definite... Yeah, look, come on. That's definitely not as good a shape as the Charizard that got the 6. My guy must have not had his coffee and graded these ones in the morning or something. And that's part of the problem with grading too, is it's all subjective, right? Like I think PSA does use some laser scanning and more advanced technology like that, but at the end of the day, it's at somebody's discretion. So my PSA 7 Charizard was clearly a 6 to somebody else, and then this guy was a 7, but definitely got some more issues. Yeah, what are you gonna do? It's all a lottery. And Blastoise coming in at a 7. Very, very nice. It's really too bad that one of those Charizards didn't come back a 7. I would love to have my starter trio set and maybe start collecting PSA 7s again. Now that the market has come down quite a bit. That's for my finger. Yeah, really good shape. Slight edge issues, corner issues. I don't see any whitening. Very, very nice Blastoise. And it could be yours. It looks like these have gone in a particular order here. Another Blastoise and another 7 too. Very nice. Definitely see some issues on that corner at the top. Centering, it's off center to the right for sure. A little bit of wear there, a little white spot. But overall, very clean. The holos on these too. Some of these, like, you see there's always some swirling because, like I said, people would keep these in a pile and shuffle through them as kids when we were trading. Or if you were lucky or a little bit rich, you had a binder. But for the most part, this stuff didn't get treated too well, as our parents thought it was a fad that was going to pass. But some of these had foiling that was just crisp. Like I've never seen anything that minty on a vintage card before. So really happy with that. Coming back 7s. If anybody's got a PSA 7 base set Charizard, let me know so I can complete my trio. And I think we're going to be getting into the modern stuff here. So I did send a couple of really nice modern pieces. Let's see how we did. Oh, damn. PSA 10 Rayquaza VMAX. Oh, that makes me super happy. I love Rayquaza. I love the artwork on this card. And like I said, with some of the modern stuff, the quality control is just bad. But man, seeing a PSA 10, that is really, really cool. It's not the biggest hit from the set. That would go to the Umbreon VMAX. And yeah, you can see here, like it's definitely off center bottom to top. And a little bit to the right. So this scored a 10. I'm not going to complain about it. But you see what I mean, where it's very subjective depending on the grader or what are you going to do. But no whitening, no scratches. This is basically pack fresh. I bought off a customer that came in several months ago, and I held on to it. I knew we were going to be doing a PSA sub at some point, but man, that's cool. PSA 10 Rayquaza VMAX. That deserves to sit in its own pile right there where everybody can see it in the blurry edge of the screen. What do we got next? Charizard VMAX, also a 10. Wow. Well, these are the ones that you want to get 10s on, for sure. Absolutely love the artwork. Not a big fan of the Gigantamax mechanic from the games, to be honest. I thought it was super hokey that you make your Pokemon huge, and I never really actually do it because I think it's really dumb. But that artwork is really cool, especially the shiny version. Very nice. Also off-centered. I can see that top to bottom and a little bit to the left. A little dirt on the slab there. There's not white spots, but beautiful. PSA 10. Look at that. I think I sent 2 of these, so they'll probably be together. Did we gem the other one? We did. Look at that. Another 10 on these Charizard VMAX. And these are textured too, so I wonder how they factor that in when they're doing the surfacing, like the surface grading. Maybe that's what contributes to it getting such a high grade. So it looks like the edges maybe at the top there have a little bit of a, well, no, they're pretty crisp on the back. That's dirt from my finger. A little bit off center. But like I said, there is a tolerance for that though. So the rest of the card's got to be pretty crispy. That's super cool. Charizard VMAX PSA 10. This is my first time receiving 10s from grading with PSA. Granted, it's only my second sub. But that is so cool to see. I did send another Charizard. Not sure. There's one card left here, so I'm not sure if it's this one or that one. Charizard V-Star, coming in at a 9. Very, very cool secret rare artwork there. I'm not a big fan of the rainbow effect that they've done with some of these. I don't really care much for the texturing, to be honest, but I will say that's really cool artwork. Those promos, though, from the 25th anniversary box, or the Charizard Ultra Premium collection, rather, really, really cool. And I'm happy to see they made a return in V-Star, the new Japanese set. There's some really great alternate art there. PSA 9 on this guy. Maybe the centering was a little bit too off for him. Who knows? I don't see any issues with the edges or the corners. Maybe a little bit of corner wear there. That's tough to see. Looks pretty crispy to me, but you know what? That's still cool. And our last card here. Mewtwo GX and another PSA 10. Awesome. Mewtwo's my favorite, so I'm really glad that this did really good. Again, another secret rare there. You can see the texturing on it. I had a deck built with this guy that I absolutely stomped Billy with so many times. Very, very nice. The centering on these ones is super apparent because it's got that really thin border there, so you notice right away if it's off center. I thought it might have been a little bit, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit top to bottom. But that's really cool. PSA 10. Mewtwo GX. Alright guys, that's all I got for you for the PSA return. Thanks for tuning in for everybody that watched and chatted along. And like I said, look forward to more content coming from me. I still got to get the studio up and running here. I'm working on getting some displays and stuff, so I got all my games and everything. and my Pokemon collection, my sealed collection. So I want to have all that stuff up on display, make it look cool. Maybe get some of that RGB lighting that all the gamers are using these days, and get it looking really cool in here. So I'm going to be doing some more box openings with the OTS sanction from Konami. That allows me to actually receive and sell product a little bit earlier than normal release. So I'm going to be grabbing a box or two here and there as sets release and get that stuff opened up and singles available a little bit before street date, or at least in the inventory so that everybody can see kind of what's coming up. And yeah, so thanks again for tuning in, guys. Look forward to more content coming from me soon. And in the meantime, play on.